108 minutes to quarantine failure. Master caution.
Iteration.
Reset. No current alarms. Vault temperature within
1.
normal parameters. Vault
0.
pressure within normal parameters.
0.
Vault humidity within normal parameters.
0.
Vault integrity test report
2.
secured.
1. 3. 2. 0. 1. 4.
Talk show.
We'll do it live.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Manual override achieved. For station uplink, enter 3, 2.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Drano, and you're listening to a communication from Station 7, or The Door. Station 7 is a sociological experiment in progress for members of the Dharma Initiative and fans of Lost and The Walking Dead. So we're going to go ahead and open up our lines for anyone who wants to communicate.
Opening communications channel. Waiting.
Well, Lost is over.
Satellite uplink established.
But it turns out Damon and Carlton's prediction was true.
What's really fun is to actually have a character back who is dead, but isn't really dead.
When someone dies on Lost, they're dead. And that's really it. Like, we're not trying to be sneaky and they're going to come back as a zombie.
Year 7, you're going to regret that zombie comment.
I am really going to regret that. Year 7 is actually, the subtitle is Lost Zombies. And it's just everybody who we've killed off over the years coming back and trying to eat
It'll be
brains.
cool. It'll be like Stephen King.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
So today we're going to react to episode 44 of the hit series on AMC, The Walking Dead. The title of the episode is After. We'll rate the episode, give our initial thoughts, critique things a bit, and follow that up with the Walker of the Week, the Roger Award, and our survival scenario. Next, we'll make some predictions for what we think might happen next. These predictions will be spoiler-free and will not make any reference to the comic book series that The Walking Dead is based on. Finally, we'll compare and contrast between the TV series and the comics in our 3-minute spoiler section. So without further ado, let's get to it. But first, a word from our sponsors.
This week's episode is sponsored by the amazing Chinese shovel. Think it's just a shovel? No! It slices, dices, digs, picks, parries, pliers, screws, hammers. It's the only tool you'll ever need. Much more than a shovel. It's the amazing Chinese shovel.
Okay, let's see who we got on the line tonight.
Incoming transmission from Mrs. Drano.
Hey, Mrs. Drano, how's it going over there? You sound almost like you're in the room with me.
No.
Mrs. Drano is not feeling too great today. She's got the blahs. Probably just snow overload or something.
Yeah. I'm originally from Florida, so I'm somewhat allergic to snow.
Gets it from her mother.
Probably. But my mother can get on a boat and sail away to the Bahamas to avoid it, so
Yes.
I think she's more allergic to it than I am.
All right, who else we got up there?
Incoming transmission from Michael.
Hey, Michael, how's it going?
Pretty good.
That is. Been a while. I guess things like Christmas have come and gone. Did Santa Claus bring you any coal?
No, he did not.
Too bad. That anthracite, you can get some pretty good money with that. Good old fossil fuels.
Well, the snow is still here.
The snow is still here? Did you have is it the same snow since Christmas? Like, have you had snow ever since Christmas?
Almost. It's not exactly the same, but I don't know. A lot of layers.
Wow, I can't even imagine that, being down in the south here, snow for like months at a time. That just boggles my mind. I guess you're used to it, though. So,
Yeah.
Like Carl, it's the only world you've ever known. No, zombie, same thing.
Yeah, I guess.
And who else we got up there?
Incoming transmission from Mr. Bad.
Hey, Mr. Bad, how are you doing today?
Excellent, Sergeant. It's been a long time since we talked. How you doing down there? How much snow did you get?
I'd say we got about 5 or 6 inches.
Oh, okay.
6 or 7.
6 or 7, the wife says. Which to us is a lot, but I guess it don't amount too much to you Yankees.
Well, we got about 14 inches between the last night and today, and
15 inches.
Some sleet coming down too, but
leave it to guys to compare how many inches they got.
Yep.
it's not the depth, it's the girth.
Yeah, we have a wider girth of snow around our property.
Southerners.
Wow.
It's not how many inches you get, it's how you use the snow. And did you get any fine anthracite in your stocking this year?
No, I got no. I didn't have a stocking this year, so it was the cupboard was bare, the fireplace mantle was bare, and cat left me a hairball on the floor, but Santa gave us a wide berth.
Oh dear, sorry to hear that.
Okay.
All right. Not everybody? I think that's everybody. Is that everybody?
That is everyone, I think so, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, you guys want to get started then?
Yes, get going.
Well, that first thing we do. Okay, a summary of the episode after. We zoom in on the tank from above, surrounded by zombies, echoing the scene from the first episode. We see the corpse of the governor, a hole in his skull. Sean stands outside the gates of the prison, watching the zombies reclaim the area. The prison is in ruins. Sean moves in, hacking zombies down left and right. She hacks off the arms and jaws of one pair and fashions leashes for them as her new pets. Leading her pets, Michonne finds Herschel's reanimated head, which is still making vocal noises without any neck, voice box, or lungs. She stabs the head in the brain with her sword, clearly disturbed by Herschel's state. She takes her pets and heads out. Rick and Carl are walking down a dirt road. Rick is in bad shape and lagging behind. He's limping and wheezing and looks awful. He keeps telling Carl to slow down, but Carl seems pissed. They arrive at an abandoned Joe and Joe Jr.'s barbecue shack. Rick tells Carl to keep watch while he clears the building, but Carl refuses, pointing out that Rick can barely stand. They head inside together. Rick is using his right hand to wield his gun again, even though he still has the bandage on it and still has his holster over on his left side. They find Zombie Joe Jr. trapped behind some piled furniture. Carl wants to shoot it, but Rick says they need to save their ammo. Rick picks up the famous hatchet from the comic books, which he finds laying on a chair. He pulls down the barricade and hacks the zombie in the skull, but the hatchet doesn't penetrate enough and gets stuck. Carl shoots it, and Rick yells at him for using a bullet. They gather what supplies they gather what supplies they can and move on. Meanwhile, Michonne comes to the dirt road that Rick and Carl were walking down previously. She sees their footprints, but instead of following, she crosses the road and heads back into the woods. Rick and Carl are walking again. Rick is lagging behind. He's limping worse than ever and carrying all the supplies in his injured hand, while Carl carries nothing. They come to a house and decide to break in and make camp. Instead of breaking a window or climbing in, they smash up the front door so that it can't be easily secured anymore. As they search the house, Rick becomes overly protective and cautious of Carl, while Carl is confident that no zombies are present. Rick yells at him to watch your mouth when Carl says shitface, and Carl can't believe his father's attitude. They finish searching the house, but don't find much. Carl gets excited when he sees his video games, but then quickly comes to his senses and realizes there's no way to play them. Instead, he grabs the cord off the electronics and uses it to secure the front door. Rick, being Rick, insists on pushing the couch up to the door also. Carl insists that his knot is strong enough because Shane taught it to him. They fight about who should eat some food, and then Rick goes into the bathroom to inspect his wounds. We see that Rick has some sort of injury on the right side of his torso, possibly injury to his lungs. He looks terrible. Meanwhile, Michonne is having what seems like a mixture of a dream and a flashback set before the zombie apocalypse. She cleans her sword and puts it in a knife block and chats with her boyfriend Mike and his friend about art. As her son Peanut runs into the room, a time jumps to sometime during the zombie apocalypse when they argue about whether or not they should go back to camp and shelter. Mike questions the futility of their existence while Michonne seems unworried until suddenly Mike and his friend have no arms as they are about to become Michonne's pets. Michonne wakes up screaming in a car, her new pets tethered outside. Carl wakes up and pours himself some cereal. He comes downstairs to check on his dad, but Rick looks dead. Carl yells at him to wake up and shakes him hard, but Rick doesn't respond. Carl's yelling attracts zombies who try to get in through the front door. Carl sneaks out the back door, goes around to the front, and decides to lead the zombies away from the area instead of killing them there. But he keeps walking backwards and doesn't trip and fall down, but he does eventually back right into another zombie that he didn't notice. They have a little slap fight, and then Carl finally does fall down. Desperate, Carl starts shooting the zombies and makes a little pile on top of them. We get a nice close-up of maggots crawling out of the bullet hole in the last zombie's skull, and Carl crawls out from under the pile. He pukes, puts his hat on, picks up his gun, tells the zombies, "I win," and walks off. Meanwhile, as Michonne is walking through the woods with her pets, more zombies gradually start walking with her. The herd grows, and Michonne is disturbed to look over and see a zombie that looks a lot like her. She walks on with the zombies. Carl arrives back at the house and tells his unresponsive dad that he killed 3 walkers. Carl, getting angry, tells his dad he doesn't need him anymore. Carl then becomes the voice of the audience, telling Rick what a crappy leader he was. He cries a little bit, but says, "I'd be fine if you died." Carl then goes out to find some more supplies. He goes up to a house and pulls a shitty solar lamp with a crappy plastic spike on the end, and somehow uses that to break open the front door instead of just breaking the window right next to the door. He searches inside and finds a few cans of vegetables, a giant can of chocolate pudding. He also finds a dead budgerigar, but decides not to eat it. Upstairs, Carl is surprised by a zombie inside a bedroom. He manages to shoot it, but misses the brain and uses his last bullet. Carl retreats into the bedroom across the hall and tries to escape out a window, but the zombie is on him before he can get it open. Carl barely escapes after some ground fighting, but the zombie gets his shoes. Carl shuts into the room, grabs a piece of chalk, and writes on the door. I thought he might write, "Don't open dead inside," but instead he writes, "Walker inside, got my shoes, didn't get me." Carl sits out on the roof eating the pudding while the walker desperately reaches out the window for him. Meanwhile, Michonne continues to walk with the herd, but the walker that looks like her is really getting to her. Finally, she can't take it anymore and chops it in the head. The rest of the herd immediately react, recognizing her as a threat, moving into attack. Enraged, she chops down the entire herd, including her pets. She sobs at her wit's end. She backtracks to the dirt road, finds Rick's and Carl's footprints, and starts following them. At the house, Carl is resting next to Rick when Rick's body starts moving in a zombie-like fashion. Carl prepares to shoot his father, but finds he just can't do it. He cries, giving up, but Rick has finally groans, "Carl, go outside, stay safe," before collapsing. And Carl finally admits that he's scared. Michonne arrives at the barbecue shack. She sits and talks to her dead boyfriend, Mike. She alludes to something that happened at the camp, but we don't know what. She says, "It wasn't you who did it. You were wrong because I'm still here, and you could be too, and he could be. I know the answer. I know why." Then she leaves, taking out a zombie on the way. Back at the house, Rick is doing better. He praises Carl for finding more food. Carl admits that he also found 112 ounces of pudding, but he ate it. Rick resists telling him to go brush his teeth, and instead apologizes and tells Rick that "You're the man now, dog." Carl tells him there's no need to apologize. Michonne finds the empty can of chocolate pudding right outside their house, even though Carl ate it at a different house. She walks up and is overjoyed to see Rick and Carl through the window. She knocks politely. Rick looks through the peephole, laughs, and tells Carl, "It's for you." So, what did you guys think of this episode? What did you think of it, Mrs. Drano?
I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I like that they're finally out of the damn prison, and hopefully the story will move along now. I feel like the first part of the season was kind of draggy for the most part. And now I'm hoping we'll get some good action and move the story along.
That's pretty good. And how would you rate it out of 10?
I'd give it like a good 8, probably.
8? Yeah, pretty cool.
8.
Good 8. Okay. And how about you, Mr. Bad?
Oh, I'm in very much agreement with Mrs. Drano. I think I'd give it an 8. I liked it. I thought, it was a little slow. It had really two major, characters, and I like that. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully they'll have several episodes just with a couple of characters, and you'll get to see more character development in depth and some good acting. But, this show, it obviously showcased Carl and Michonne, and I thought it was good, and like I said, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. And how about you, Michael?
Out of 10, I'll just I would give it a 6, with a 5 being an average.
Whoa.
I think this episode was definitely about character development, and I really just like action, but I guess you have to have some episodes like this.
Yeah.
But Mr. Good, how he could attend the call, he was saying that he didn't really like the fact that they didn't really have any plan if they would get split up outside of the prison. And I kind of agree with him. They should have...
If only they had caches. If only they had caches, they would be much better organized.
Exactly.
Mr. Good was probably disappointed to not see the caches they put to you.
Yeah. And I liked the character development with Carl, though. I thought that was pretty cool. And although I was a little scared when they were toying with Rick. I don't know, didn't know if they were going to kill him off or what.
So did you think that he might have actually been dead at that point? Or
I had my doubts. I don't think you could kill a main character just like that. It just doesn't sound. It just doesn't. I don't think you can do it.
And how about you, the wife? Did you think that Rick was actually dead there on the couch, or did you think that he was just sick?
Yeah, I was hopeful for a little while.
You were hopeful?
That's why I gave it an 8, because he wasn't actually dead. By the end of the episode, he seemed to be kind of on the way to at least feeling better. I was like, oh man, he was almost comatose not too long ago, and now he's all oh, here I am, we're chilling.
Yeah.
Lame.
How about you, Mr. Bad? Were you fooled?
I really thought he might be dead. Carl was really shaking him on the couch, and he didn't, give any sign of life, And then when he started to move and moan, I really thought whether he was dead or not, I thought Carl was going to shoot him.
Yeah, that would have been ironic. Well, let's see. And I myself would give it a 9. I thought it was just shy of perfect. There wasn't. What she said, babe?
Because Rick didn't die.
Because Rick didn't die? Yeah.
I did think it would be kind of an odd point for them to kill him off.
It would have been ballsy, that's for sure.
It would have been ballsy.
No, I didn't get more so for little nitpicky things like I mentioned in the summary. Stuff like
pudding can,
breaking doors in, when you could have just broke a window, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was more than the book.
Yes, and let's see, I believe we've got a voicemail here from Methodic John, so let's see what he thought of the episode. Let's see what Methodic John thought.
Hello, Sergeant and the crew. This is Methodic John. I will not be able to join you likely this evening due to inclement weather. Got some bad snow, got some problems, got some power problems. But I did want to call and share with you my thoughts on the episode. First and foremost, I guess I was a little bummed out that, you know, Herschel turned into a head zombie, but, you know, that is what does happen. See. I was really hoping to get a little bit of closure about Gius, but I guess that's forthcoming. Hopefully there'll be some sort of person that grabs her, not a zombie, because that would suck. What else? Carl, that was pretty funny how he thought he was the man. Clearly he wasn't. It's a lot harder than he realized, clearly. I thought that was pretty good episode for him as character development and for him to grow a little bit. And I knew they weren't going to kill Rick in the real world. I'd say on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd have to give this a 9. I don't know if that's because I've been coming off of a long hiatus and I'm just super excited for a good episode, but honestly I feel like they executed pretty good on that. Clearly, we only got to learn a little bit about Michonne's backstory. We don't know what happened to her son, but I guess I'm sure, just like some of the other cliffhangers, they will come and get resolved. See, I don't think there's anything new versus behavior. I feel like it's pretty much everything we've seen. And I couldn't help but chuckle when Carl got stuck underneath the bodies of the zombies. Thought to myself, that would be a pretty crappy way to go. Basically being attacked by a zombie with 3 or 2 carcasses on top of you. So all in all, that's kind of all I had to share, and if I can dial in tonight, I definitely will.
Okay, good thoughts from Methodic John. Okay, so good thoughts from Methodic John. He thought it was a 9. Good deal. I guess we'll move into what worked and didn't work. What worked and didn't work for you? Bad?
I actually would have gave it a 9 like you and Methodic John, except it wasn't that it was bad acting, it's just that it was irritating acting. You know, how you play a whiny, teenager, with really sort of, just being a pain in the ass to his dad, well, his unconscious dad. I just found that irritating, I thought later on you had really good acting and really good emotional depth when he was, his dad appeared to be reanimating and he pulled the gun out and then they couldn't do it. I thought that was really good. But that whole speech about I'll kill, I killed them, the 3 walkers, and I saved you, and, I'd be fine if you were dead. That was just, teenage angst, and it was very, you could tell it wasn't his genuine emotion. It was just sort of, hormones going crazy, but you could tell it wasn't his true feelings,
I wonder.
I found it irritating.
I wonder if some of that irritation comes from the fact that most of that stuff was pretty much adapted from the comics, and Carl's quite a bit younger in the comics.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know.
Was
that all?
That's what I didn't like.
Okay.
I really loved the emotional turmoil Michonne and Carl was going through. I thought, like I said, the scene where his dad appeared to be turning was great, and Michonne's dream sequence I thought was amazing. Finally got to see. I mean, it was a dream, but you finally got to see what her husband and her friend looked like, and they had that little discussion beforehand. I thought it was so cool when she put the samurai sword in the knife pin,
That's a question for you guys. What do you think? Do you think, did she really have, a special block at her apartment that had, a cutout into the counter where she could put her sword all the way through like that? Or do you think that was just dream stuff?
I think that was to be... They did that. It was to show, so you would know right away that it was a dream. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you think that was supposed to demonstrate that it was unreal?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't necessarily think that. I kind of saw it as almost like a Kill Bill moment. Like you got these these ex-mercenary chicks that have their apartments, but they're still like mercenary chicks, so they have them tricked out to where they can got special places for their swords and stuff. What did you think, Mr. Dad?
Well, I agree with Michael. I thought it was a dream element. I don't think anybody's got a special place for their samurai sword in their kitchen knife.
Okay.
But I thought that was great, and I really liked how, as she's standing there sort of, bringing the food, they sort of morph into, different clothes, bloody, and talking about going, not wanting to leave the compound or the base. Yeah. And being scared, and her husband Mike was really sort of talking about opting out, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Well, not husband now. They're not married.
I thought Mike was.
No, he's her lover.
She complained about that. That I thought that was the point of her complaining about it. It was just her, her Mike's friend being irritating, calling her, their lover, or his lover, instead of his wife or partner or whatever.
Well,
they're partners. Together.
They're partners, but I don't think they're actually married. I guess they're both the parents of that kid, but I don't think they're actually married.
Well, thank you very much, Sergeant, because I now have a prediction,
Oh, boy.
Mike will be, her, Michonne's,
revealed to be her husband, actual married husband.
Not just her baby daddy, her husband.
Okay. Well, what worked and didn't work for you, Michael?
Well, I think what worked was Michonne's dream. How it slowly degraded from good to bad to horrible, where the two guys had their arms cut off.
But still had their jaws.
Wait, what was that?
But they still had their jaws, and they didn't really look like zombies either. They were like two living guys with their arms cut off. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was scary. It was just kind of you don't really expect that in this show. But yeah, I don't know. So that's what I thought worked. And I guess I said earlier Carl's character development works, but I also think that what didn't work was Carl just being, I guess they tried to make it this way, but him just being stupid, him getting involved in bad situations where there's a chance that, when he's fighting with the zombie and he loses his boot, he easily could have got bitten in the leg.
Yeah.
Go out when he's outside.
In fact, did you guys get the feeling like that zombie was trying really hard to almost bite his leg, but not quite bite his leg?
Yeah, you take a full-grown man and put him in the same situation, and somehow his leg gets bitten. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It looks like there was several times that zombie really could have bitten his leg if it wanted to, but it was just kind of went, at the leg, never quite biting it kind of thing.
I really want this boot.
Yeah, I really want the boot.
And I guess this doesn't really count as didn't work, but I thought it was kind of funny how somehow he was able to eat 112 ounces, which is, what is that, 17 or 7 pounds? Wait, what's 16? I don't know. What's 112 divided by 16? That would be, I think it's a few pounds of chocolate pudding that he ate.
Yeah, that's a pretty big can. Yeah.
He could eat it.
He's turning himself into a custard. He's inserting his own cream filling. Okay, well, for me, just mainly what worked was the great character stuff for Carl and Michonne. Most of that I thought was really good. I kind of like that they're setting up this kind of mystery of her past that presumably we're going to learn more about. I kind of think back to, was it this season or last season? I think it was actually season 3 where she said something about those two zombie pets of hers being worse people when they were alive or something. You guys remember her saying something about that to Andrea one time?
Yeah, she did. She said something like they deserved what they got or worse than what they got, yes.
Yeah, so it's whoa, that's kind of a departure. So it'll be interesting to see if they're actually going somewhere with that. Well, I think that could be interesting. What I didn't like, what didn't work, just minor continuity stuff, just silly stuff are we to believe that Carl actually left his shoe there and didn't get his shoe back. He has no shoe now because he didn't want to go back in there and take out that one zombie.
He didn't have any more bullets.
He didn't have any more bullets, but he's killed lots of zombies with other stuff.
Yeah, he didn't have to be there to back him up.
Yeah, maybe through defense. I think
back in there for my shoe.
I think his confidence was down. You could definitely see, it was much different than standing next to a bunch of badasses with guns. But him being out by himself, he was panicking a little.
I guess I can see that. Oh, did somebody start to say something?
Yeah, I did. I was just kind of agreeing with you guys. I didn't really think he had any weapon. Like, his gun was all out of ammo. He was stupid, like Rick was saying earlier. He should save your bullets.
Well, he had that awesome yard light.
Yeah, the solar-powered, stake, yes.
How did he open the door with that? I didn't understand
that. I don't understand it either. My wife says it's possible that when he opened the door with the plastic yard light thing, he said that if he uses the right leverage, he can get that door open with that.
Only if the deadbolt wasn't thrown.
Only if the deadbolt wasn't thrown. Interesting. An actual external door to a house?
Possibly.
Wow.
If the lock is old enough, which it kind of looks like a kind of older style lock, and if the deadbolt was not thrown, it's possible. Unlikely, but it's kind of like the credit card trick. You have to have the right kind of door. It has to be like a spring latch or something. Can't be a dead latch.
Okay.
And it won't work on a deadbolt.
All right. Well, my wife is the expert on things of this nature, her being a locksmith and all that, so I guess we must defer to her expertise.
But I would say it's probably pretty unlikely.
Pretty unlikely.
But not impossible.
So Sergeant, your Mrs. Drano can always unlock the she has the key to your heart, so to speak.
He said you have the key to my heart.
Oh, that's so heartwarming. My heart melted and leaked right out my asshole.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, smartest, dumbest. What was the smartest thing somebody did in the episode? What was the dumbest thing somebody did in the episode? Oh, wait, did you want to go?
Yeah.
No, okay. Smartest, dumbest. Who did the smartest thing? What was it? Who did the dumbest thing? Mrs. Drano. What's your smartest thing?
Start with me.
Okay, I'm not supposed to start with her. All right, Mr. Bad, what was your smartest, dumbest?
I think the smartest was Michonne eventually leaving the herd of walkers she was with. I thought that was very significant when she initially crossed that muddy trail with her two pets. I think she really saw the footprints, and I think you could see that one set was bigger and the other was like smaller, like a kid. So I think she definitely thought, that could be Rick and Carl, and then she just sort of, was going back to the old Michonne, distancing herself and becoming emotionally withdrawn. And I think the basically what happened to her, the psychological problem she was having, she saw that running away was not going to solve it. So she came back and was going to try to live, with other people.
I was wondering about that too. I was wondering whether she actually recognized those footprints as being like Rick and Carl's, or whether she was just like avoiding possibly other zombies. Because how would you know that those are people or just zombies walking around? What did you think, Michael? Did you get the impression that she kind of knew whose footprints those were, or do you think that she just saw them and didn't know what they were?
I think she kind of got the impression of who they were. Like, I guess she was just looking for something.
And what did you think, the wife?
About the footprints?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of think like we're supposed to kind of get the idea that she either knew that they were Carl's and Rick's, or that she at least like kind of figure out that they belong to like a living person, like living people. Like maybe because of the regularity, or I guess Rick was kind of limping along. He would have probably left zombie tracks.
Yeah, zombie tracks. Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe there was something about them that we're supposed to think that she goes, hey, you know what, maybe these are like actual like living people.
Okay. And what was your dumbest, Mr. Bad?
Dumbest was Carl with the solar light stake. That was just stupid. I mean, I think the earlier interaction he had with those three zombies showed he's just a teenager. He doesn't have the physical strength to really kill a zombie. Certainly, I just thought that was ridiculous. You know, I mean, it was smart in one respect that he had a weapon of some kind. And he was smart when he went upstairs. He was quiet, and he was closing the doors. So, I mean, he was trying to eliminate danger. And then when he ran across the one door that was locked, he should have left it. You know?
I don't think it was locked. I think it was just shut. I don't think it was locked.
Shut, yes. But I thought, you know, he could have looked around the rest of the room, and if that was if everything else was secure, he could have banged on it and then listened. And if, you know, he would have obviously saw a zombie, and they could have went downstairs and took the food and picked out on the pudding, which is what he did.
Like you did earlier, banging and yelling and seeing if anything's going to react to your presence. Okay, what was your smartest, dumbest, Michael?
My smartest. Well, I'll start with the dumbest. I think Carl was the dumbest for his little endeavors and his antics of just running around and like wasting ammo, killing zombies. And then, like, after every zombie, he'd be like, "Ha, I win," or what did he say? He always said.
I win. Yeah, Carl would keep saying I win.
Something like that. But I don't know. Smartest, I think Michonne was probably the smartest. Like, she was following the tracks, and I guess not much to say. I guess that's it.
Okay. And how about you, Delay?
My smartest, I thought it was pretty smart that Carl's got the sense to like lead the zombies far away from where he's staying before he shoots them. Yeah. In case the shots like bring more zombies, as they were wanting to do.
Yeah. Although I actually wondered about that because before Carl's always had that silencer, that suppressor you can put on his gun and shoot zombies if he needs to.
Maybe he lost it in the Bill CS coming from prison.
Yeah, I guess that's possible.
And as far as dumbest, he didn't check his six.
Didn't check his six. Yeah, backed right into the zombie.
Backed right into a zombie. Yeah. That was dumb.
And let's see, my smartest is that when Carl banged on the walls and yelled for the zombies to come out when him and his dad were clearing that house, I thought it was pretty smart. His dad's like, "There might be zombies," and Carl's like, "Oh, they would have come if there were any zombies." And his dumbest is Carl leaving his shoe behind. I thought that was kind of silly. I didn't really follow why he's going to write on the door and leave his shoe behind. I thought that was kind of dumb. So, questions this episode raised. Questions that occurred to me. I think we already addressed the footprints question. I guess the only other question I can think of is what happened at that camp that Michonne and her lover and Peanut, little Peanut, were in.
What happened to Peanut?
Yeah, what happened to Peanut?
I bet we can guess. Maybe we'll see him later.
You got shelled.
You got shelled. You got roasted.
You got turned into peanut butter.
Zombie, nom nom nom.
So anybody got any thoughts on that question, on that mystery? Or anybody got any other questions from this episode? What do you think? Anybody?
Oh, this is Mr. Bad. I just thought the strong theme was about needing other people. You know, I think Michonne, that was her transition. You know, from going back to the zombie herd to reaching out to people. And Carl, the same way. You know, he had that teenage moment, but in the end, he had this real human need to have somebody else. And his father, being the most important person to him, right. Even to the point where he couldn't kill his father. Mm-hmm. Where he was shooting, he thought he was a zombie. But
yeah. Okay. Quote of the week. Anybody got a quote? I got a quote. Anybody else got a quote? Hey, my quote is Carl talking to the unresponsive Rick when he says, "You couldn't protect Judith. You couldn't protect Herschel or Glenn or Maggie, Michonne, Daryl or Mom. You just wanted to plant vegetables. You wanted to hide. He knew where we were and you didn't care. You just hid behind those fences and waited for They're all gone now. Because of you, they counted on you. You were their leader. But now, you're nothing. That's my quote.
Yeah, that was a good one. I thought that was a good speech, yeah.
What did you have, Beth?
Oh, I just liked when Michonne knocked on the door and he looked through and said, "It's for you, Carl." It's for you. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything?
Nope.
Okay, let's go into the Walker of the Weekend. Walker of the Week. Okay, this is, of course, a segment where we give our favorite Walker for this week, or we give the award to a character we think behaved in a manner no better than a Walker. So, who is your Walker of the Week, Mrs. Drano?
Herschel Ted.
Herschel Ted. That's a pretty good Walker. And how about you, Mr. Bed?
Well, I mean, you got to give it to Sam I Am, green eggs and ham. I thought that was great. Sam, the zombie he struggled with who tried to bite his leg.
Okay. That wasn't Sam.
Well, on the door it said Sam. Why would it be
Sam? That was the other bedroom. See, that zombie was in the bedroom across the hall.
No. The Sam, the word Sam was on the door that he wrote on.
Yeah. That's the room that the zombie ended up in. But that's not the room that the zombie was originally in.
Well, how do you know that?
Well, because if you watch the scene, Carl opens the door to the bedroom and the zombie comes out, and Carl falls down and gets up and retreats from the zombie, and he retreats across the hall into the bedroom that's across the hall from the room that the zombie was in.
Oh, I thought he went into the same room.
I don't think so. I'll have to watch that again. What was your impression, Michael? You can settle this argument.
I've never heard of all I heard was Sam I Am and zombies and doors. I'm pretty sure he came out of a different room, but I can't be sure.
Okay, Sam I Am. You like the zombie that got Carl's shit. All right. How about you, Michael? What's your Walk of the Week?
I like the one where that Carl, didn't he shoot him or something? Whatever he did, but the one that had maggots coming out of his head.
Yeah. The third zombie on the zombie pile. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good effect. Okay, and my favorite is actually, you only see it for a very short amount of time, but one of the zombies in Michonne's herd was like super skeletonized. It was like almost all skull up top. Did anybody spot that one? You just see him for like a couple of seconds.
No, I did not. No.
Super skeletonized. Pretty good effect. Yeah. It's like when she's looking around for that one that looks like her, there's one off to the right that's like very badly decomposed. Pretty cool. Okay, and I guess now it's time for the Roger Award.
Roger! And there's a lot to get done before you can afford to lose me. Roger. We got this, man. We got this by the ass. Roger, move! Let's go, baby. You all right? Perfect, baby. Perfect. Roger! Roger, watch it! Dennis,
Okay, and the Roger Award is, of course, the award we give to the character who we think kicks the most ass in the episode, but also who is a character who we think might eventually get killed off in the story, or maybe even did die during this episode. So who gets your Roger Award? Mrs. Drano. Not too many options.
Not too many options. I guess Carl did a lot. Well, it'd be kind of a toss-up between Carl and Michonne. So you can still kill off either one of them at some point.
True. Pretty close.
But they were both kicking some pretty good ass that episode. So, yeah.
You're not going to pick one over the other?
I don't know. I guess I'll go with Michonne.
Michonne, okay. All right. And how about you, Mr. Bad?
I have to go with Rick. You know,
Rick?
He didn't kick much ass. He pretty much collapsed. But
he did a good job holding that couch down, preventing those zombies from getting in the front door.
Yes. He was protecting his son very well there. But I mean, for as beat up as he was, I mean, he was near death. You know, he was carrying his load. You know, he was the guy carrying all the food and
he was carrying all his supplies. His hurt arm.
He was the one trying to protect his son with the taking the hatchet. So
fuel. Yeah.
But I really thought, he was going to die, and I definitely thought Carl was going to shoot him, And I thought that was a very emotional moment, though, when he said, I can't, And that was interesting because, in that horrible kind of world, I think it even becomes more important to have emotional attachments to other people. And if you lose them, I could see people just not wanting to live in that kind of world by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's legit. Okay, what about you, Michael? Who gets your Roger Award?
So much. I think I'm just going to go with Michonne. She was pretty awesome when she just killed all the zombies in that pack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much my reasoning, too. She killed, like, an entire herd of zombies.
Yeah.
Like, every single one of those zombies, including your pets, yeah. So, I mean, you can't ask for more ass-kicking than that. And I definitely think she could eventually get killed off at some point. I'd say it's more likely probably to kill her off than Carl, really.
I don't know, though, because Carl may be suffering from Walt syndrome.
Walt syndrome.
I mean, his voice is already changing.
Well, you grow up really fast in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, he's growing, too. I'm like, yeah, he might be hitting the whole, we got to kill him off because he doesn't look like he did.
It's like this is a very easy to talk about. It's like a reverse thing from the, kids that like get molested as they're growing up. A lot of times they're less developed, It's like the opposite of that. So you grow up in the zombie apocalypse, and all of a sudden, you're 12 years old, but you've got a big beard and stuff, and your voice gets really low, that kind of thing.
What's wrong?
Yes, I told you it wasn't very PC.
Little boy, going to hell.
Very never PC.
No, that's not very PC. God, that's awful.
Okay. What the heck were we talking about? Oh, that was the Roger Award. Okay, I guess we're ready to go into zombie behavior, so hit the thing for that.
I'll take your questions.
There's a man going around taking names.
These creatures cannot be considered human. They prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. These creatures are nothing but pure, motorized instruments. We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not.
It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come.
Okay, I saw two interesting things about zombies in this episode, but let's see if anybody else has any. Let's see if anybody can get one of the ones that I thought of. Anybody got anything about zombies or zombie behavior?
I really didn't see anything new, to be honest. No.
I think apparently we now know that maggots live in zombies' heads.
What was that?
Maggots live in zombies' heads.
That is one of the things. Actually, that maggots are inside zombie skulls, and if you shoot them in the head and the brain, maggots come pouring out. If destroying the brain kills the zombies, you wouldn't expect to see a bunch of maggots in there.
Yeah,
that's
a good point.
It's kind of interesting. So
it is interesting because maggots don't live in live tissue. They only live in dead tissue.
Yes, they only decroded tissue.
Right.
So I guess what we can draw from that is that whatever is animating the zombies, they are still rotting, including the brains, right? So that means eventually they should all just decay, including the brain. They should decay to death, essentially, right?
I would think so. I would agree, yes. If Mr. Good was here, he'd probably go off on, his... he was talking about some crazy theory about, I think, fungus.
Oh, I described that too, Mr. Ed.
Oh, no, but Mr. Good had some chemical analysis of, what goes on in the brain or the tissues,
Okay. Okay.
But
all
I
right.
think the fungus idea is good.
Yeah, I like the fungus. There's real-life implications there with those ants and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I noticed was I thought it was interesting how I was never really sure exactly how the zombie pets worked before, and so we really saw them in extended action in this episode. We really saw that she could walk right along with them, and it didn't matter whether they were between you and the other zombies or not. As long as they were walking along with you, then the other zombies would ignore you. And you could just walk right along with the whole group. But as soon as you took an offensive action against another zombie, the whole group does immediately, change their behavior. She can't, stop doing that and they start ignoring her again. She identifies herself as a threat and they all start attacking her. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was. And that, of course, was a great scene, that circle of flashing samurai death. That was pretty good. What did you kill, 15 or 16 zombies in the course of, 40 seconds?
I did not count. I remember, I think it was season 3, the forum did one of those things where you try and predict, where each character gets scored on different things, that they do per episode. You get points taken off if you kill another survivor, or you get a certain number of points for each zombie you kill. And boy, that really would have put her up there.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it this season. But I think she was. I think Daryl had the most kills for quite a while. But I bet. I bet that put her over Daryl at this point. I'm pretty sure there's a website or two that keeps track of all that stuff. That'd be interesting to look at. But I don't have the information from it. Okay, I guess it's time for the survival segment.
Give me that dog.
What do you mean?
I mean, give me that dog.
What are you going to do with him? You can't open the doors to let him out. The bomb's liable to go off.
The dog's got to go. We're going to need every bit of air to breathe ourselves. After a while, we'll be laying on the floor to get fresh air.
But he's just a little dog. He doesn't breathe.
We can't have him here.
No.
Dog's got to go.
Don't you touch him.
Wait a minute. Won't do you any good to cry. It's all over. A little while you'll be thanking me. Getting rid of that dog's going to help an awful lot.
Oh, my God.
You'll be glad we don't have that extra pair of lungs when you're laying here gasping for breath.
Okay, this week's scenario, you are in the same situation that Michonne was in. You are using these two zombie pet things to sort of traverse the terrain without getting bothered too much, and you find yourself in the middle of a fairly good-sized herd of zombies. What's your next move? What do you do when you're in that situation? What do you think the best course of action is? What do you think, Mrs. Drano?
Best course of action, or what I would do? I'd probably shit myself and start crying hysterically.
Okay. It all depends on whether or not you have the samurai sword, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'd do more or less what she did, just kind of keep an eye on the situation and keep going along if it seems like they're all ignoring me.
Well, I got the impression she didn't really plan on killing them all like that. That kind of was a spur-of-the-moment thing. We don't really know what her original plan was, but you would just kind of go along with them because...
I guess so. I mean, I wouldn't really feel like I had much of a choice, so I was thinking, maybe something she could do if she wanted to get away from that herd or something is just kind of slow down and fall behind, and then just turn off, turn away.
Yeah, okay.
She could always drop her pets and run.
Yeah. What do you think, Mr. Bad? What would you do?
I'm not sure if she has much ability to steer zombies. I don't know if there's any halter on those babies, but I think Mrs. Drano's thought about, I guess you could slow down a little bit. That would probably be the best thing. I would probably try to do that and wander off. Yeah, I did not want to be in a herd of zombies. I certainly wouldn't be as cool as collected as Michonne.
I wonder if she started walking off if, the zombies would just, tend to follow her or something. It had that her mentality. I don't know.
What do you do if you got to pee,
To quarantine failure.
Uh-oh. I think you hit a button.
I never saw zombies pee. I wondered how they might react to somebody peeing next to a tree.
I was kind of wondering about that too. Like, has she been walking for days or something? I mean, how does she sleep? I mean, we saw her sleep in the car, but we didn't see her sleep once she was with the herd. Now, what would you do, Michael? What do you think of this situation? What would you do in that situation?
Can you just say it again? So, are these zombies like irate, or and she
No,
doesn't?
not irate. Yeah. At the moment, the situation's static. You're all walking along together, but there's quite a few of them around you, and you know, you don't really want them there. And eventually, I mean, you can't walk forever. Eventually, you're going to have to stop and sleep or take a piss or, you know, do whatever.
Oh, I take a piss.
What's your plan to extract yourself from the situation?
Well, she does, like, I mean, I guess she has been going along with the plan that she has her 2 zombies, and I guess, I don't know if she's steering or leading the herd. She might just be able to walk off from it if she, like, it might be risky, but if you, like, you walk in the opposite direction, you know what I mean? With your 2 zombies. I don't know.
Will that trigger them or not? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good survival situation, though. I guess you can do anything almost.
Wouldn't that be horrible if you're walking there, if your pet's in that zombie herd, and you start farting, and the zombies start coming after you because they're drawn to the sound and smell of your farts.
Well, they're decaying, right? So they're probably releasing, you know, excess gases all the time. It's probably normal for them to be farting.
Well, that better be, because I tell you, Mr. Bad would not survive in a zombie herd. I fart all the time.
You've been farting, Mr. Bad. Very nice. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. What would I do? Pretty much what everybody else said. I guess I'd try to sort of gradually veer off away from the herd and just kind of try to walk out of there in a calm manner so as not to attract attention, and hope that that the herd didn't decide to come along with me. But I don't know. Good question. All right. Let's go into predictions and theories.
The Dharma Initiative called it the lamp.
This man and his team created a series of equations which tell us with a high degree of probability where it is going to be at a certain point in time.
Event window determined. Extrapolating sound and vision.
Okay, this is a segment where we each give a prediction of something that we think is going to happen, preferably something that we think is going to happen by the end of this season, and also preferably something that's not based on some kind of preview or something that you saw, because that would kind of be cheating, and not based on anything you think you know from the comments. So, who would like to go first with their prediction? Anybody?
I'll go first. Mr. Bad will go first. Charge.
All right, what you got, Steve?
I think we'll find out by the end of the season that Mike, Michonne's husband, killed himself and also took out their son, killed their son. That he opted out.
Okay, Mike killed himself and Peanut. Okay. Revealed by... And that is... All right. How about you, Michael? You got one for us?
I think by the end of the season... Well, I was going to say someone would die, but I need to be specific. I think Tyrone is going to die by the end of the season.
Tyrone? Oh, no. Not Tyrone.
Tyrese.
Tyrese? Well, now his name's Tyrone. Tyrone is
now his name's Tyrone. Michael predicted that Tyrone would die. I'm like, ooh, Tyrone.
So just write Tyrone down.
Right, Tyrone. A new character will be introduced named Tyrone, and that character will die by the end of the season.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And how about the wife? Do you have any sort of predictions, the wife?
Yeah, I try not to make predictions.
No predictions.
No predictions.
She doesn't like to be wrong.
No, it's not that. Well, it's that too, but I just like to be surprised.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid she'll be right.
You do.
Okay, and I will predict that we will, in fact, see Lily and Tara again by the end of the season.
I have a prediction.
Oh, you do have a prediction. Okay, what's your prediction, then?
Judith is not dead.
Judith is not dead. Okay, that's a good prediction. You're only allowed one prediction.
One more.
You can say it, but I'm not going to write it down.
Judith is dead.
Well, too bad. You're stuck with your first one.
Opening communications channel. Waiting. Satellite uplink established. Incoming transmission from Mr. Good.
Hello, Station 7. I see the zombies have chewed through the wires, and there's plenty of technical difficulties going on. Well, my favorite thing on the episode was learning about Michonne. That was neat. It was neat to learn more about her, what's going on inside her head. Oh, and is it dark? Dark. So that was neat. I thought that was well done and good. I didn't like the other half of the show. Overall, I would give it a 6. You know, I didn't like the fact that Carl seemed to be like blaming his dad for everything. I don't know. I don't buy that that's, you know, him being a teenager. But like they have to assess blame, and Carl has to assess blame, and everything was just Rick's fault. You know, so I didn't really care for that.
Just to jump in, Mike, you know, you have 2 sons, one of which is really a teenager. Don't you see any similarity there?
No.
No, you don't.
I would hope that if I'm laying there, shot, beat up, and unconscious, he wouldn't be saying things like, I hope if you die, it would be okay, or, you know, I hope you die almost. You know, I don't think. He has nobody left in the world, but he doesn't need his dad anymore because he's sick of him, and he's totally okay with the world the way it is because he can win. You know, I didn't like that part of him going around saying, I'm a winner, or you lose and I win. It seemed very non-adultish.
Yeah, it seemed like he was a juvenile. It was very like a teenager, being very immature, right? And that's exactly the kind of things occasionally that come out of other teenagers' mouths. But let's move on. What was your smartest, dumbest?
The dumbest thing. Well, he was leading the dumbest thing. I mean, it was courageous of him to lead those zombies away, but he just seemed pretty cavalier about the whole thing. So the dumbest thing was how many times Carl put himself at dire risk when it wasn't really necessary. In the house, you know, outside the house, almost at every time it was only luck that saved him. You know, and his dad's cautioning him to save the last bullet. You might need it. Turned out to be pretty true.
Yes, he's a teenager and was very cocky. I would agree.
So
when he was
you have to keep saying that so that you think you can win the argument that we were having that I didn't really start, but you continue to have. So thank you for that.
Okay. The smartest thing.
The smartest thing was Michonne seeing the tracks, but then not deciding that she was in that dark place again in her head and not deciding that she didn't want to follow the tracks. You know, I think it really shows how dark her mind is and how, you know, the reason why she doesn't talk too much is that there's a lot of dark stuff going on up there.
Well, yeah, that sounds very... yeah.
I just thought that really illustrated, not that I really cared for that, but I think it really illustrated how dark her mind is.
Yeah, have a Walker of the Week.
The Walker of the Week would be the Walker, was it inside the room? Ben? Was that...
No, the door said Sam, but
Sam.
I said that also, but I think Sergeant Drano pointed out that
he went into that room.
Yeah, the zombie had been in a different room, and then he falls back into that.
Well, I'm going to call it Sam anyway. I thought Sam was the
Walker of the Week.
The Walker of the Week, yeah.
How about the Roger Award for somebody who kicked ass but always has a potential to die?
Well, Michonne certainly had the potential to die, and she was kicking ass. walking through the horde of zombies for no particular reason, just because that was the place to be,
No, she was going with the flow.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think there was another flow that she could have... Well, she did eventually. She killed them all, and then went back and followed the tracks. So there was another path there to take.
So you got any quote of the week?
Yeah, I did, and I wrote it down. I don't have it here. It was the quote where Carl was standing over his dad when his dad was unconscious, and he could have died, and he said something like, "If you die, it's okay with me," or do you remember that?
Yes, he said, "I killed them, I saved you," and then he goes on, he said, "I'd be fine if you're dead."
Right, I'd be fine if you're dead, or if you die.
Do you recall ever saying that to your parents?
No, I don't remember ever saying that to my parents.
I wish you were dead?
No.
Hitting you with that pick must have hurt your long-term memory, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I think you're full of crap, too.
Okay, how about predictions? You got any predictions?
The biggest threat they're going to find next is going to be, I think I said this before, so I'm going to stick with that, is cannibals.
Cannibals, okay.
And that, what's-her-face? Who got exiled?
Carol. See, Carol. See, that's
Carol,
word association,
Carol. Yeah, well, I'm
up
predicting
those neurons.
Carol is going to be like the lead cannibal.
So your prediction is the group will eventually meet with Carol, and she'll be the head cannibal, and will try to.
It's not the head. One of the lead cannibals. Yep.
Okay. Well, anything else you got to say? You thought anything about the show was?
Like I said, a 6. I was very disappointed. I liked the Michonne part. They could have went more into that. And I think the writers are doing a really poor job with writing in general. Michonne, you wanted to learn more about Michonne, so that of course was good. But I really did not like the writing behind that was between Rick and
his
Carl.
son Carl, yes.
No, I really didn't. I thought that was very poorly done, and just didn't care for it at all.
Okay. Well, I have to agree. I found it irritating, but I thought it was actually very accurate for a teenage boy, both his cocky behavior. Teenagers often get into very dangerous situations. Okay, you're good with your opinion. We have the episode tonight. All right.
I'll probably talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Well, take it easy, Mike.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Transmission terminated.
All right. I guess the next thing is the spoiler quarantine. Has anybody got anything they want to say before we go into the quarantine?
Out.
Okay, let's
Negative.
go into the spoiler quarantine then.
Initiating spoiler quarantine.
Okay, does anybody have any actual spoilers?
No.
No. Me neither. I'm pretty dark. I guess the only thing I'd mention is that, the scenes that we saw with Carl and Rick were from the comics. It was in the comics, too, that Carl initially thought that Rick had turned into a zombie, but it turned out he wasn't. This is also the point in the comics where Rick starts having his crazy telephone conversations with his dead wife. Do you guys think they're going to bring that back in, or do you think that they've kind of been there, done that, and they're not going to revisit that? What do you think?
I would agree there that they've been there and done that. I don't think they'll revisit the crazy phone calls.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I wouldn't mind seeing them more. As you can tell by if anybody listens to the end of the show, Rick's getting lots of phone calls.
I really like but in the comics, Rick actually, where they're at right now, the phone that he gets phone calls on, he takes the phone with him, he puts it in his backpack, and he's carrying around this phone that's not connected to anything, and even though he knows, it's nuts, every so often he'll take the phone out of his backpack and talk to his dead wife on it. I kind of like that aspect in the comics. I'd kind of like to see that again, but I kind of agree with you. I don't think they're going to go there. What are your thoughts, Michael? Were you aware of any of this from the comics? Do you read the comics at all?
Well, I haven't read the comics, but you're saying that he had a phone with him and he literally wasn't plugged in for anything?
yeah. Initially, it was kind of like the episode we saw in the previous season where he thinks that he's getting a call from, survivors, and then eventually it's revealed that it's his dead wife talking to him on the phone, and who even tells him that it's just his imagination, that she's not actually talking to him on the phone.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Well, in the comics, that happens while he's at this house with Carl at this point that we're at right now. And when they leave the house, when it comes time to leave the house, he actually takes the phone with him. He unhooks. Well, the phone's not hooked up to anything to start with, but he puts the phone in his backpack and he carries it around with him for several. In the story,
15 seconds to quarantine failure.
He's stuck on the phone with his wife. Just to make himself feel better, I get it. I guess. Because it's crazy that he still does it. I just thought that was kind of an interesting character trait. And I kind of want to see it on the show, but I doubt they're going to go there. Oh, well. Okay, we're back from our spoiler quarantine. And I guess that's pretty much all I've got. Does anybody have any final thoughts or words before we wrap up the show?
No, I'm very thankful we're out of hiatus and get a chance to talk to y'all. Very much enjoyed this show and your what you guys have to say.
Does anybody know what the title of the next episode is?
Yes, it's Inmates or Inmates. Yeah.
Inmates.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds like we're going back to the prison.
God, I hope not.
Do you have is there any kind of blurb on that? Have you read any kind of little brief synopsis or anything, Mr. Bass?
I could. I'm on the Walking Dead site, but I could read. There's like here. The group encounters many obstacles in their quest to find stability and safety, but sometimes all they have to guide them is hope.
Okay, so it's one of those synopsis that tells you absolutely nothing about anything.
Yes. But I definitely think Michonne could make her way back to the prison with just a couple of pets, and that might be good because there's lots of supplies, or at least there's weapons. I mean, I guess they were running low on food and such, but they could use some weapons probably.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see. Okay. Well, as Karen DeGroot herself has written, careful observation is the only key to true and complete awareness. Your next tour of duty will last 1 week, and during that time, you will observe The Walking Dead, a sociological experiment in progress. What is the nature of the experiment, you might ask? What do these subjects believe they are accomplishing as they struggle to fulfill their tasks? Perhaps you, as the observer, can find out. Each time your hate mail is filled with the fruits of your diligent observation, send it to Station7 The Door at gmail.com. And presto, will be transported directly to us. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 252-377-1087. Give us your initial reactions, or tell us how you rate the episode, or give us a Walk of the Week or a Roger Award. We'd love to get that stuff. And you can also find us on TalkShoe, of course, by searching for Station 7, The Door, or on iTunes. I guess if you're hearing this now, you probably know how to find us, so say no more. And our other internet home is on losttv-forum.com. You can find us in the Walking Dead area or in the Lost area. Well, there's lots of great discussions about those shows still going on. And I guess that's about all I've got. So from all of us here at the Dharma Initiative, thank you. Namaste.
Mr. Bad Robot.
Call recording has been completed.
Goodbye.
Well, it looks like my internet crashed, so that means the episode's over.
Hi, Mr. Rick. It's me, Sophie.
have his guns. That's really all he wants. Some guns. You know, girls, they want to have fun. But boys, all they want is their guns. You know, girls, all they want is some fun. But boys, all they want is their guns. When the foraging day is done, yeah, the boys, they just want to have guns. The boys, they want to have guns. The boys, they follow their fathers like a dog on her leash. Their goddamn wet dreams will never cease. That's all they really want, their guns. Them girls, they just want to have their fun. But boys, they just want to hold their guns. Yeah, they want to have their guns. But boys, they just want their guns. And boys, they just want their guns. Carl wants to be the one to walk on his own. Oh, boys, they just want their guns. Yeah, boys, they just want their guns. Boys just want to have guns. They just want to. But boys, they just want their guns. The boys, all they really want is their guns. When the foraging day is done, yeah, Carl just wants to grab onto his gun. Come on, Carl! Let it go! Bye-bye!
They hung a sign up in our town. If you live it up, you won't live it down. So she left Monte Rio's son, just like a bullet leaves a gun. With a charcoal eyes and Monroe hips, she went and took that California trip. Oh, the moon was gold and her hair like wind. Said, don't look back, just come on, Jim. Oh, you got to hold on, hold on. You got to hold on, take my hand, standing right here, you got to hold on. Dime store watch and a ring made from a spoon. Everyone's looking for someone to blame. When you share my bed, you share my name. Well, go ahead, call the cops. You don't meet nice girls in coffee shops. She said, baby, I still love you. Sometimes there's nothing left to do. Oh, got to hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take my hand. Standing right here, you gotta hold on. Well, God bless your crooked little heart. St. Louis got the best of me. I miss your broken China voice. How I wish you were still here with me. Oh, you build it up, you wreck it down, then you burn your mansion to the ground. Oh, there's nothing left to keep you here. But when you're falling behind and it's a big blue world, oh, you've got to hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on, take my hand, standing right here, gotta hold on. Down by the Riverside Motel, it's thin below and falling, and by a 99-cent store, she closed her eyes and started swaying. But it's so hard to dance that way when it's cold and there's no music. Oh, your old hometown so far away, but inside your head there's a record that's playing a song called Hold On, Hold On. Baby, gotta hold on to take a mind, standing right there, gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on, take a mind, standing right there, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take a mind, standing right here, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on, hold on. Baby, gotta hold on and take my hand, standing right here, you gotta hold on. 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 You gotta hold on, baby. You gotta hold on, girl. You gotta hold on. You gotta hold on.